Welcome to FBB Forum. I just wanted to mention we are an official sponsor of the Triple O Dynasty coming up on April 4th in Arizona with women's pro bodybuilding. And more information is in the description below, so definitely check it out. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning NPC women's physique and bodybuilding athlete Casey McJunkin to the podcast. Casey is one of the top amateur competitors in the biz, and she most recently competed at the NPC Nationals in Dallas back in December of 2025 and placed in
Mm.
the top five in her class in women's physique and top two in her class in women's bodybuilding. Casey lives in South Carolina, not Virginia. I got that mixed up. In Clemson and actually has her own coaching business too. And stay tuned to find out more about this rising star. And welcome, Casey. It's great to see you and get to speak
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me and everything. I'm really excited to finally get to talk to you and everything.
Thank you, Casey. I appreciate that. And you're so young too. You're only 22.
Yeah, 22. I won't be 23 until July 23rd. So I was born in '03. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah,
Wow.
definitely youngin.
I always appreciate the young people coming on and y'all are so impressive with your physiques and everything too. Like I was mentioning Dylan Crenshaw being
hmm
23 as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. Love Dylan to death too. She was so fun to be with, like, around and everything backstage. So, and I'm glad we finally connected because, there's very few of us around, and it's really good to have those connections and everything, make friends. No, so I love it.
that's true. There's not many people who can do what you do. So to get
Mhm.
together like that, I think is really great.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Now, I wanted to ask you about how you got started in bodybuilding. And
Mhm.
I was wondering if you had an athletic or a sports background before you started training and competing in bodybuilding.
Yeah, so I started playing t-ball and everything from the ripe age of 3 years old. I think my parents put it in, me in it, and
Uh-huh.
I my first word was ball. So I was an athlete from birth pretty much. That was just kind of destined for me, I guess. But yeah, so I started playing t-ball 3 years old, and then just kept with it. I started playing basketball around 8 or 9, just kept with it. Um, and so I ended up going as far as playing college softball and everything.
Wow.
So I did all that, and but initially, kind of what got me into bodybuilding was, I got diagnosed with a bone disease when I was 15,
Okay.
something called osteochondritis dissecans. And so basically it's where part of my knee joint, on my left leg, had died. And so they had to go in and
Oh,
do something called microfracturing, where they take the bone, the dead part of the bone out and everything, the dead cartilage, and they drill holes in it. And so basically the hope is it was like a 50-50 chance it worked, that my bone would form its own scar tissue.
okay.
So lucky, I was very lucky. It ended up working out and everything. After that surgery, um, I was in a wheelchair for about, I was in it for a while. I would say definitely more than a few months for sure.
Wow.
And everything couldn't had basically learn how to rewalk and everything. I didn't walk for about 6 months or something like that.
Really?
It was a
Wow.
very intense surgery, and obviously, being in a wheelchair and not able to move and do much of anything. I lost my little athletic physique a little bit, gained a little weight. And, it's going to happen. Um, so after I finally was recovered and released after about a year of recovery, I started getting to the gym and everything. And initially, it had started to be better with softball and everything, because I wanted to go play college softball and everything. It's been my dream since I was a kid. So
Okay.
initially had started more athletic training, more hybrid kind of stuff. And then I saw, a little bit of triceps, and then, the biceps and stuff, just, training and just loving learning how to train and everything. And I started really trying to get into just more hypertrophy kind of training, just because it was a little bit better on my joints. I had friends that did powerlifting and things of that sort, but with my knee and everything that sort, it just wasn't really in the cards for me to try and, go squat 400 pounds and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I definitely need a different route. And then so I kind of started digging a little bit. And one of my friends, Michael, he and his girlfriend, Adriana, they at the time at least, they one was a bodybuilder, one was a power lifter and everything. And I kind of started, talking to Michael a little bit more and everything. And then I kind of started, digging through social media and finding different girls like that are just like freaking ripped. Like, Andrea Shaw was one of the first ones that I kind of like, skewed up on, seeing
Yeah.
people like Michaela Aycock was one, Alyssa Kiesling. I had like this girl, she's not a bodybuilder, but her name is Evan Childs, and she does like fitness programs and stuff. And she was like one of my idols too. And then like Kristen Nunn. I don't know if you know her.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
her.
her.
Yeah. She
That
was
was one of
amazing.
like
Yeah.
it's the She-Hulk. And I saw her and I was like, I need to look like that. Like
She's
that really
awesome.
like
Yeah.
sprouted something in me because I was
Yeah.
I wanted to be like a superhero growing up. Like that was always like, I was a little tomboy. So like, the
Yeah.
muscles and wanting to be Superman, that was like my thing.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
once I got introduced to that, and I was like, oh my God, like I can have that much muscle. And then it was just smooth sailing from there. I just started digging, finally got to have a few friends that were, bodybuilding and everything too. Met different people, and then I haven't stopped since. So I think I started bodybuilding theoretically around the age of 15. Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I was curious with the bone disease, was that like a genetic thing or what was the cause of that, do you think, or
They
anybody
don't really
know?
know. It's super rare. It theoretically they think I used to be a catcher. I had to stop catching because of the knee surgery and everything, but I
Yeah.
called for a really long time. And I also played third base. So initially they think it was just from like constant trauma, theoretically.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
because I'm sitting on my knees all the time when I'm catching, I'm bouncing around on my knees. And I also played like third base at the time. So,
Yeah.
you're in that down position a lot too, slinging things around. So they don't
Yeah.
really know. There's not many cases of it. So theoretically it's probably just from like wear and tear and constant trauma over time.
Wow. Is it something that could come back, do you think? Or
Theoretically, he told me initially, my surgeon and everything, that like, down the road you may need a knee surgery again or a knee replacement, but like it's been pretty good. I mean, I've lost a little like proprioception, so like where I can't really feel like where my joint may be in certain areas, but that's something I've kind of learned to like deal with over time. So
okay.
like it makes
Yeah.
posing a little difficult sometimes just because you don't have that like mind to muscle connection in that area. But
Yeah. Yeah.
theoretically, like it's been pretty good. So I'm hoping just to keep it that way. So
Wow, that's cool.
yeah.
Um, and when did you do your first contest?
So my first competition was in 2024, and let's see, it was in I want to say October or beginning of November. I want to say it was around the beginning of November of 2024, and that
Okay.
was gosh, what was that one called? I think that was the Quincy Regionals, the Quincy Adam Regionals or something like that. It was in North Carolina. Um,
Okay.
and then so initially what me wanted to do with my previous coach was like, okay, hey, let's just get you on stage for your first show. So I just entered in as like my debut or whatever, just to get like my feet on the stage and whatnot. I probably should have went and competed in the open division. I probably would have done well. I probably would have
Oh,
won the bodybuilding category, but we just
yeah.
stuck me in like, debut and everything just to get my feet in the water. I did well, won the big debut or whatnot. And then the next show, we put me in open and everything. So
Okay.
then I ended up going, won the overall at the state championships, I think is what it's called. Won the overall for women's physique and women's bodybuilding, and then qualified for nationals through that. So,
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So
mhm.
2024 was your first nationals too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was 21. Yeah, I was 21 years old. Yeah.
And how did you place there at the 2024 nationals?
I got third in women's bodybuilding, and then I got sixth in women's physique, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So I
cool.
still
That's
did pretty
awesome.
well and everything. And that was a very intimidating experience. Um, Definitely a lot different than this year, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
was my coach, obviously, he like Justin, my current coach, he was there at nationals. I was basically by myself. I actually stayed with Bree Marshall and Dustin, her fiance. They
Okay.
actually had called me and they're like, "Hey, we have an athlete because they're coaching and everything. We have an athlete that's going to nationals. Do you want to come hop in this Airbnb with us and everything?" Because
Oh,
initially
nice.
I was just going to be like by myself in Texas in some hotel room, which is
Yeah.
pretty much how it was. My first two shows too. Obviously, I had some help from my mom and sister and everything with makeup and all that good stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I went over there to Texas with Bree and them, and we stayed in a little Airbnb house, and I mean, it was so much fun. Like it was such an experience, though. Like, and to be
Yeah.
that young and to get to have that national experience, and I did relatively well. To be honest,
Yeah.
like, and I
That's true.
really, it was I'd say like coaching wise, he could have been there for me a little bit more than he
Mhm.
was. And that created a lot of like feeling of aloneness and kind of like stress on me for that national competition. So like it was a
Yeah, I
9 day
understand.
difference between last year and this year.
Yeah, I think Justin I think is one of the best coaches because he is present and he does show up to the shows. And I've seen him
Hmm.
interact with his athletes like
Oh
April
yeah.
Costamano in particular. I was thinking he was really supportive of her at Atlantic Coast and
Oh yeah. Cause that was a crazy, there was so much stuff, like bad stuff that like trickled down for her that show, like the
yeah.
stew and like there was all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, no, I think Justin's great, and
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
think April looked really good this year, and her pro debut 11 years later, after
Oh,
her
I know. Like, and yeah, and it's funny because like when Justin actually picked up April, finally, I say, um, he had texted me and was like, "This could literally be like your older big sister, or like y'all could
uh,
literally be twins too." And so
yeah,
it's just like me, Montana, and April are all just like
that's
these
true.
three twins. Like, you have April's a mom, an older sister, and then I'm just the mini.
Oh, I like that. No, I like that.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
it's
Um,
something else.
and it's cool. We had talked about Bree Marshall before we started
Mhm.
recording, but I'd interviewed her, gosh, back in 2023, I think, or 2022, and
Yeah.
she's really amazing, and I hope
Mhm.
that she'll compete again too. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get back there. I know she will. She's gonna look freaking phenomenal. Her Dustin's coaching her boyfriend and everything, which Dustin's an awesome coach as well. So like, I have really high hopes that for them and everything, and like because they are so close and work so well together, I think like they're gonna align her prep like really really well. So I'm so like stinking excited for her. Like, and she's gonna look so good. And like she keeps like pushing to. I know she started a prep last year and then she like pulled out and everything. And then I think they're gonna I'd probably do a show this year, possibly. I know
Great.
Dustin, her boyfriend, is competing this year at the same show I am. So I'm really
Oh,
excited. So we'll see.
that's awesome. That's very cool. That's very
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, Brie is amazing.
Yes.
And you mentioned Andrea Shaw, but I was curious if there's other ladies that you look up to or role models to you.
Oh yeah, like I got to meet Ashley Jones for the first time in Texas, which was like I literally could have cried. I was so emotional. I literally was just like too stunned to speak. And Montana was like, Casey, like, it's okay. Like, they're all just human. And I was like, I know, but like, little 14, 15-year-old me, scrolling through Instagram and seeing these people and then like being like, oh my God, like, how am I ever going to, like, what am I ever going to do to get there? Now we're like literally just yapping about nonsense, to each other. It's like, it's crazy. It's like one of those things like, wow, like, like, excuse my language, but how the hell am I here right now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
yeah, it was awesome. Like, I got to meet Ashley. I got to meet Rachel Daniels, which was one of the first ones I've ever like saw like for women's physique and everything. I
Yeah.
saw Sarah Belegus. I didn't get to speak to her. She was like super busy backstage and everything. So
Oh, yeah.
um, I got to see her at least in person. So that was like really cool too.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, I have like, and I look to like people like Michaela Acock, she's been going through a lot with her knee and everything. And it's been cool to like watch her
Yeah.
journey. And she's self-coached too, which is even cooler. Um,
Yeah.
and then, just like people old school era also like Bev Francis and Linda Murray,
Yeah.
all those good, good girls. Like just like we actually me and Montana, we watched the like pumping iron of like basically women's bodybuilding. It's like on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
We
That's a
watched that
classic
when
documentary.
yes, we
Yeah.
watched that when we were in Texas and like just getting to see like Beth Francis like come up there, just absolutely just massive woman. Like it was a
Yeah.
really cool experience, but like people like that's like, who I grew up with, like looking up to because there isn't I mean, there's like a decent amount of women's bodybuilders, but like it's still a very small crowd, if that makes sense.
It is. No, that's true. And that,
Mhm.
yeah, Pumping Iron 2 is a great documentary. And it's neat to see Bev interact with Steve Weinberger, who was
Yes.
her coach back then. I think they got married later.
Yeah.
But just it's neat to see them interact like early on in their bodybuilding careers
Oh,
like
I
that.
know. And I love how passionate he is, like,
Yeah.
about it still. Like, it gives me like a lot of hope too. It's like, if they're gonna go like, teeth and nail for it back then, we could still do it now, so
Yeah. I agree. No, I think
yeah.
you're right. Yeah, he's still active with, with his
Oh yeah, yeah.
mission promoting and everything too, which
Yeah,
is
one of my like dream places to go is like Bev's gym up there and everything. So that's one of my bucket lists.
oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to go to New York Pro last year for the first time
Mhm.
and Steve hooked me up with a media badge too and it just was
Nice.
so nice. Yeah, he was
Yeah, that's
great.
awesome.
And it was a great show.
Yeah.
Now I was curious for your first show, was it kind of nerve-wracking to get up on stage in bikini?
It was. I mean, I basically like accepted the fact, like, hey, you got to get up on stage basically half naked. Like, this is
Yeah.
part of the sport and everything. So, like, I kind of just take it as like, okay, Casey, you got to put your superhero suit on, put your makeup on, and just go out there. And so,
Yeah.
like, but once you're out there and everything, like, I was nervous, but like, it also like I kind of realized like this is where I want to be. This is
Mhm.
why I do everything that, I do. And that was like kind of a comforting kind of thing for me. Like this past nationals versus like even last year, like competing, I was so much like more comfortable on my feet. Like I was excited to get out there. Like I wanted to show my physique, which like last year's like, yes, I want to show my physique, but I'm like, oh my God, like this is a lot also, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I
and
understand.
you're still learning the ropes and trying to find your confidence and like your physique because I also have a lot of imposter syndrome and everything. So I try
Uh-huh.
to
I
like,
understand.
yeah, I try to give myself a little bit of, more credit. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
totally understand that. No, I think that, and I think, yeah, getting that first year out of the way
Hmm.
kind of gets the nerves a little bit, calm down because you better know what to expect and
Oh
you
yeah.
know what it's like backstage and what the
Right.
whole process is like. So I think that makes
Hmm.
a big difference.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um, what was your experience like at Nationals? Did you have a great time? Did you have
Oh
fun?
my yes. Oh my goodness. I literally had the time of my life. Like I met some of like, the bestest friends I'll probably have like, for the rest of my life. Got to meet Justin and everything for the first time. I got to meet like Olympians, stuff like that. It was just so like a so surreal experience. Like getting to like hang out with Montana because we stayed together that entire week. And
Oh,
like
cool.
getting to
Yeah.
the just, be with like one of my best friends and just do bodybuilding. Like that's, the thing that we literally love the most. And like, so that entire week was just dedicated to doing what we love with like people I love and everything. My sister got to come down and everything, which was like super awesome because I didn't have anybody there with me last nationals. That was like my
Yeah.
family and everything. So she got to come down and fly to Texas and everything. So, which was like,
Nice.
super awesome because like it's my little sister. So, I want her to be there. And then like
Yeah.
Montana's family was there as well. And they, took me right in as well. So her mama is the
Nice.
sweetest thing. She's, she's crazy, but she's so, so sweet. And, her sister as well. Like they helped us with like, our makeup and everything that sort. So like we had very, very limited stress. And like me and Montana, we're like two peas in a pod. Like we function together really, really well. We're very kind of like type B people. So like we were like, okay, let's do this in this order and we're good.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
like it was
Yeah.
a very smooth sailing week. And then getting to like meet Justin for the first time, he's taking me under his wing and he's like he was so supportive, and he even like, texted me afterwards, like in the show. This was probably like a week after, just checking on me, like how am I doing mentally, things of that sort, which is like really important. So like,
Okay.
him even taking the time, to fly all the way out to like be there for us was just like incredible. So like props to him for that too. So, but yeah, Justin's amazing. He really gave me the confidence that like, I can be in this sport and can do this. And this prep like was much better. The stress level, the way I look, everything that sort. And then also like Eleni was there, and everything. She was Eleni's actually an OT. So and then I'm in PT school and everything. So we were like nerding out on each other when we talk because she does body work and everything. So like
Okay.
we got to like basically like use our big girl words as we say, like while like Montana's getting like dry needled and we're just like, chit-chatting about like, you know, muscle groups and like all sorts of things of that sort. So and Eleni,
Nice.
so but yeah, I got to meet so many people and like had like just the best time. Like it was a very like I found like friends I'm gonna have for the rest of my life and like experiences I'm gonna have for the rest of my life, and everything. So like, and I'm young, so like to have these people that are like, hey, like you can do this. Like it was very very like heartwarming and stuff to do like and have.
Mhm. That's awesome. Very cool. That's so great. And you had mentioned earlier about Ashley Jones, by the way, and I just think she's one of the sweetest
Oh
ladies.
my
I've
God. Yes,
met her
like
a few
love
times
her.
now, and she's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, she is such a like just a cute human. Love her to death. Like I hope like her and I like connect more and everything. We follow each other and I literally like had a like fangirl moment when she followed followed me back and everything. So,
She's awesome.
'cause
Yeah.
it's like, I'm just like I'm very still very, very new to all of this and like being
Yeah.
but it's like you're being thrown into this like big world of bodybuilding and it's like it's very like wow, like here we are, you see these people on social media for 5 6 7 years and now they're right in front of your face,
I know.
watching you get on stage. And so it's very very so surreal and just like I can't be like any more like grateful. It literally does not feel real sometimes. So
I understand. No, and I kind of feel that way too
Mhm.
as a kind of a journalist or a podcaster
Yeah.
and a longtime fan to meet these people in person
Oh,
and
I can imagine.
have
Trust
them
me,
in front of
same
you. It's
boat.
like, wow, it's amazing. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
cool. And I actually got Ashley to pose for me backstage at the Steve Carr
Oh,
Classic. And
really?
I've
Yeah.
never really been backstage in the pump room before, but it was amazing. And it
Yeah.
was such a cool experience to be back
Oh,
there.
yeah. And
Incredible.
it's
Yeah.
it's funny because like I feel like every backstage pump up is a little bit different, at least from like my experience. I haven't had many experiences, but like you either have like the very like tunnel vision, like shark kind of like don't mess with me people, or you have like
Yeah.
people that are just yapping and like I can tell you this much, like me, Montana, and then like who was I? I was talking to all sorts of girls. I can't stop talking to people backstage because like I'm just happy to be there. And I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
everyone's also like a lot older than me. So like I'm
Uh-huh.
just, like
Yeah.
kind of like using their guidance and stuff. Like Taylor and I talked for a second and I was like, she came out. I think this was after like we were getting lined up for women's physique because it got a little crazy after we went for women's bodybuilding and then we came back and me and Taylor were in the same class for women's physique. And
Uh-huh.
and then I was also competing against my teammate Hayden, and then I knew Courtney was in our class and things of that sort. And so like we got ripped, back around for women's physique after women's bodybuilding. And they did it completely different than they did women's bodybuilding. And
Uh-huh.
me and Taylor came off of like, I guess they did comparisons first, set of like individuals for women's physique. It was a little, it was just different. And
Yeah.
Taylor
Yeah.
came back around and we looked at each other and she was like, girl, what was that? I was like, I don't know. She was like, what just happened? Everyone was kind of like staring around, like looking at each other, staring around, like, so like, what do we do next? And so we
Uh,
get back in line and they're like, okay, now we're gonna do individuals. And we're like,
oh, that's weird, huh?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
weird that they
was
would
it was a
switch it
little
like
it was
that.
yeah, it was a little confusing and different, but it was all good. Like, we just kept on moping around, but Taylor was like, what did she say? She was like, I gotta find out who that talking referring to me. She was like, I gotta find out who that other girl is and everything. Cause when we held center against each other,
Yeah.
she was a sweetheart, and
Yeah.
everything. And she was like, you look phenomenal. I can't believe you're 22. Like you look phenomenal. And so that was really awesome to hear as well. Cause she was thinking, look gnarly.
Mhm.
She's just
I
absolutely not.
know.
Her quads were just
Yeah.
gnarly.
Yeah, I like her a lot. Taylor looks great. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's the Quaddus, it's kind of
Oh yeah,
her,
yeah,
her
and
name.
rightfully so, rightfully so.
Yeah.
I need just like a little bit of that, and I'll be good.
Yeah, she's amazing for sure. No, that's great. And I was I we we've kind of already talked about this, but in terms, I'm sorry, you didn't get your pro card this time, but
Hmm.
I think you will soon.
Hmm.
But your highest placing so far, NPC Pro qualifier, was that the second place in the
Yeah, that was the
bodybuilding?
second place, and yeah, so that was for so we got first call outs, which was really to get first call outs in that women's physique class also was like a big
Hmm.
deal for me too, because that women's physique lineup this year and women's bodybuilding too. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
Like, yeah,
big. Hmm.
it's crazy. Like I was just like stunned at how amazing everyone looked. And like I'm also like very like pumped up because like, that's the future right there. And we were all looking pretty dang good. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, y'all look great. And
yeah.
it was a very competitive class. I would
Hmm.
say more so than the last maybe 2 years because it
Hmm.
was seemed like a bigger lineup and just more competitive, I think,
Oh
too. So
yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel like although yes, I didn't get my pro card and everything, I'm still very, happy with my placement, things of that sort. It also gave me the like fire under my butt to like really like nail it this year, you know what I mean? So I think I told Justin this too, and I was like, I think this is like the loss that I needed to really level up, you know what I mean? Because
Uh-huh.
this one stung, this one really, really stung. Like
Yeah, I
after
understand.
I'm very content with my emotions, especially like around people and around like, that type of competition and stuff. Cause you're
Hmm.
also representing a team, Justin's team. So you want to
Yeah.
be,
Mhm.
professional and even whether you're winning or losing. And so me and my sister kind of like ventured off to the corners after the show. And I kind of just sat down the corner and I just let it out. I just sobbed and I,
Yeah, I
got my
understand.
emotions out and everything.
Uh-huh.
And I called Montana. She was like, obviously she had just gotten her pro card, and I did not want to be like the mopey little, person to ruin her day. So called
Oh,
her.
I understand.
Hey, I want you all to go to dinner and everything. Me and Caroline, which is my sister, are gonna go get food here in a little bit. I just need a little bit to myself to,
Yeah, I
get everything
understand.
together.
Yeah.
And she was like, I understand that for sure, but you better be back in the room to eat our cupcakes and everything. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
perfect. So me and my sister went out after and everything. And I was, obviously I was beat up from it, but I just kind of just used it, like really used it for fuel. And I woke up the next morning and everything and went and did my cardio downstairs and I was right back on track. Like I was like,
Terrific.
okay,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't, I was right there. There's no reason for you to like be depressed and down, like use this as your fuel.
Yeah, totally. No,
But
and
yeah, I had to definitely snap myself out of it. But it was a hard
yeah,
one. So
and you never know who you're going to compete with, and I think I've heard a competitor, Susan Matheson, say sometimes second place can be worse than lower placing just because you're so close to winning and you put
hmm.
all this work into it, and it's like so
Yes.
kind of frustrating that you're that close to winning. And
Yeah.
so and sometimes you can kind of get stuck in that. It's like a case of the seconds, because it kind of continues,
Right.
but still, it's something to still brag about, I think, because
Oh yeah.
you're beating out on some other amazing women, and Taylor, that Quaddis, just kind of she's hard to
I
beat
mean,
too.
the girl could have been pro like probably 2 years ago. She looks so
Yeah,
stinking amazing. Like
I know,
it's
yeah.
like she came up and like I saw her backstage and I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, but yeah, she was freaking off. She earned it. And everybody was asking because everyone thought, well, we didn't know, like, because they give out two pro cards for every other division except for women's bodybuilding.
Exactly, yeah,
And
that's
everybody
true.
was like, so why
Yeah,
didn't you get your pro card? And I was like, well, they
yeah,
only give out one. And so, I mean, whatever. At the end of the day, I want to win first to get my pro card.
yeah. Oh
So,
yeah, yeah,
like,
I understand.
and then like I kind of just like didn't let that one ruling or kind of thing like kind of affect me in that way. Like, yeah, I would have been nice to have two pro cards. I would have walked away with it and everything. But
Yeah,
like at the end of the
yeah,
day, it's like I want to win first. You know what I mean?
yeah, I totally understand that.
So
Yeah. We talked a little bit about this before we started recording, but do you have a preference for women's bodybuilding or physique? To
yeah, yeah. So like I love women's physique. I'm just like not as I guess like agile on my feet, I guess you could say.
Uh-huh.
Like the posing is definitely different, but also like I'm just more comfortable with women's bodybuilding. I love women's bodybuilding posing. Like I love the bigness of it. Like it just makes like, like I grew up a tomboy and like, all like I grew up playing baseball until I was like 13 years old. So like,
Yeah.
I've always been like, around the guys and stuff. So like doing the bodybuilding posing and stuff like that has just always been super natural to me because, I
Yeah.
was the one girl that was like over here with like a group of like five of my friends from high school, like pumping out, front double buys and stuff. So, but,
I understand.
but yeah, and also like I just, I looked up, yes, I looked up to a lot of women growing up in the bodybuilding world. In but I also looked up to a lot of the guys because they have a good
Yeah.
insight too and everything. So like, I love the women's bodybuilding posing. I love the like bigness and the nature of it. Like you're up there, you're like, I don't know, not. I wouldn't say it's more aggressive, but like, I don't know. It's just a little bit cooler, I guess, to me. It's kind of like the badass of like the body, women and everything. So like,
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. But again, like I love women's physique too. Like I get to be a little like ditzy and stuff like that. So a little bit more like feathery on my toes and whatnot. So like I love that
Yeah.
aspect too. And like we were talking about this earlier, like, if it comes to it, I don't have the size to go pro in women's bodybuilding. Like
Uh-huh.
we really condition me down, fit into women's physique. Like I'm good
Yeah.
with that. And then okay, let's just grow into bodybuilding. Cause like me and Justin, we actually looked at each other. This is like right after I got off stage. He was like, "You're women's bodybuilding," and I was like, "I know,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
know." So you asked me to do a like front lat spread, and I'm gonna like be like ready to go. I'm good.
One thing I liked about Steve Carr Classic this year, and I had not seen this at many places, but during the preliminaries or prejudging, they asked him to do your favorite most muscular pose, and I just love the most muscular, and they
Oh
really
yeah,
try to discourage that. It seems like in physique, although
yeah.
I think Dylan and Montana faced off doing most musculars in nationals,
Lord
which
of
was great.
mercy.
I
When
love
I
that.
was
That was
watching
awesome.
them, oh my gosh, I was like, oh goodness gracious.
That was
I
so
was
cool.
so hyped up though. I was like, I was like, I can't believe they're doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got the crowd going, man. That was
Oh my God, I
awesome.
loved it. Like, and like I love that they also did that because like the girls like we're all so passionate about this sport, and it's really like disheartening sometimes because they like, people say women's bodybuilding is the dying division or whatnot. And it's
Yeah,
like it's not dying when you have so many girls. I mean, look, you had like what 20, 40 girls right there, that
yeah,
are like going teeth and nail for something they love. You can't say something's dying when somebody is putting that much love and their that much heart into it. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And yeah, and ladies like you, I think, are the future of pro
Mhm.
women's bodybuilding. So I think,
Mhm.
yeah, no, I think you're right about that. And I am worried that there's been some shows that have cut the class though, or
Oh
the
no.
division
Yeah.
unfortunately. So,
Yeah,
uh,
like the Arnold, I wish they would bring like that was like really disheartening too. Cause like, I mean,
yeah,
Arnold is, he's like one of the biggest faces in bodybuilding. And then
yeah.
you would think that he would, ride for us like he does the other divisions. But
I know. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. And
yeah, it
even
really
New York Pro dropped it too, and I was disappointed. But then I think he only had like three competitors last year, Steve did. So I think it was kind of disappointing for him on that. So
yeah, yeah.
so it's like, yeah,
Which, like, at the end of the day, like how we were talking about earlier about how they only give, one pro card out for, these national shows.
hmm
And like, and then they complain about people not showing up to the pro shows.
yeah,
And,
hmm
it's like, well, if you gave that second pro card out, okay, you're putting another pro out there to go compete in a pro qualifier.
yeah, that's true.
Obviously, if it's
hmm
deserving enough, but like in our class, women's bodybuilding, I think we had more than five girls or something like that.
Yeah,
I know heavyweight definitely did.
yeah, they did. Yeah,
So it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you want more people to show up to these pro qualifiers, y'all got to start giving more pro cards out. Not to say like just disc pro
yeah,
cards out, but like some people, not to say like again, like I would want to get first if I'm going to give a pro card, but like I feel like that's an easy fix to like help the division. You know what I mean? Everyone
I
else does it.
agree. Yeah.
So like all the other divisions do it. Fit model does it. So like, you know,
No, I totally agree with you on that. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when Andrea Shaw won um or when she got a pro card in nationals, which I think was 2017 or 2018,
mhm.
she got second in her in women's physique, so
Yeah,
that's so she didn't actually win her pro qualifier, but she still went on to be the best, bodybuilder in
right,
the biz.
right. I
So
know.
yeah, I agree with you on that. I would like to see, yeah, more women's bodybuilding competitors come on board and
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like the easiest fix to that is like, okay, you're giving two pro cards out per show.
uh,
There's not that many national shows per year. I mean, you're doubling,
yeah.
growing from like maybe 3 to 6 or 4 to 8. Like
Hmm.
that's still a better number in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think it's a fairness issue too. I think it's more fair to
I agree. I
other
agree
way.
completely, especially like not to hate on like other divisions, but like new divisions like Fit Model.
Hmm.
Right? It doesn't take that long to build the physique to get a pro card in Fit Model, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you have women's bodybuilding where like, it's gonna take us, 4 plus, years to even, build that quality muscle maturity, things of that sort to get to that division. And then we're, only giving one pro card out. So but
yeah,
that's my
that's
little
true.
rant about that.
No, I totally agree with you on that. And I like how George calls the fit model like the hot tour division.
I did calm. I know. Oh Lord mercy. It's
Oh man.
whatever floats their boat. That's
I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit. With Justin, like how long have you worked with him as a coach?
yeah. So me and Justin been together officially like about a year now, actually.
Mm,
So I
cool.
picked him up after I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after Nationals of 2024. I left my previous coach just due to like him just not being there for me, things of that sort. Like it shouldn't take you, 3 to 4 hours after prejudging for a national show to respond to me, to my
Yeah.
check-ins. Like that's just not okay. And then so Montana was coached by him. And then my friend Mina Greenlee was also coached by him. And like I started texting, the girls I had met at Nationals as well. Like Haley, I texted her, which is, also coached by Justin and everything. Texted Mina
Yeah.
and a few like, his girls and everything. And I had also texted one of the other girls that was coached by my coach, that went to Nationals as well. And I just got some like insight and things of that sort. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I think me and Justin would be a good fit. And
Yeah.
so, I texted him everything, and he was like, "I've been waiting for you to reach out to me." And I was like, "Of course
Uh-huh.
you have." And so, that it's just been him and I since then. So, but yeah, it's been smooth sailing. We actually last year we went through a lot of like health stuff and everything. Like we got me as healthy as I've probably been last season and everything.
Okay.
We didn't touch any gear for like the longest time. We like ran labs after labs after labs, um
Okay.
and things of that sort. We found out I have a hormonal imbalance. So like my testosterone sits a little bit higher because we were having like some issues with like, just like aromatization, things of that sort. So like we're kind of like, okay, let's take a step back and see what's going on. Long story short, I just have a hormonal imbalance. Nothing's
Okay.
wrong. So and then we started like finally getting to like run a push. And so I only ran a very slight cycle last year. And then, we threw peptides in for the first time this past year with prep. So
Okay.
a lot it looked a lot different. He literally probably, saved my life in a lot of ways because I don't think my last coach really, cared about my health. And like from the
Yeah.
jump, Justin was like, we need to get everything on the, table right now and see like what we're looking at. And then, we'll get you on stage. And that's what we did. So we got me really, really healthy. And I was like, I was good. And so, it set me up for a good prep and everything. And we're still learning my body. So like that's a big thing. Like I mean, this is only my second, showings ever. So like,
Yeah.
I'm still learning my body too in prep. So like, I think it was a lot better than this year. And like, we just like you get it like that emotional connection with Justin too. Like he's not just like still face kind of coach, you know what I mean? Like he's
Uh-huh.
gonna like
Yeah.
be there to explain and everything that sort, like what his plan is. And he has a plan. He always has a plan. That man
Uh-huh.
always has a plan. And like that's a really big thing. So
Yeah, I think he does care too. I think he, cares about your
yes.
health, cares about you
Oh
as an
yeah.
individual, and yeah.
Yeah,
And,
for sure. Yeah.
whereas,
So, yeah, I'm really excited because now we're set up like where I'm in, good health now after prep too. So like we don't have
yeah,
to worry about, running into all these issues going into this, new show this year. So like which is like very exciting, not having to like stress about, oh, if we got this going on or this going on, So
and is he kind of mindful of your knee too, your knee situation?
yeah, he knows about that, and which it hasn't really like. I tell him if something hurts. I mean, I'm like, dude, my leg hurts. So, like, you can. We're all complainers, and he just listens to it. So,
Oh
but
no.
yeah, so like, and he knows, and like, with our training and everything, there's not really any like movements that relatively like light me on fire. At least as of right now. Right now, my only issue is my shoulder. So I actually have a torn labrum in
Oh
my
yeah.
shoulder and everything, which I'll eventually have to probably get surgery on. But I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
just wearing away at it for now and just
Oh no.
in. So yeah, but I will have to get surgery eventually on that. That I just don't
Okay.
know a timeline on that. I'm just trying to hang on to it till I get my pro card because it's very manageable until like, hopefully I, turn pro and everything this year. So we'll see though.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you what shows do you have planned for this year?
Yeah, so this year we are going to go to NPC North Americans in Pittsburgh. I think that's like
Nice.
September 3rd or 4th. Um,
Okay.
we just
Good.
want to get out of Texas for one, just get a new judge
Yeah,
panel, just get some new eyes on us and everything. And we think
that's a
like
good
I'll
show.
probably do a little bit better more north. So,
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
terrific. Yeah. No, that's a good, very good show.
Oh
Any
yeah, I'm
others
really excited.
any others you have planned in case that doesn't pan out? Or?
I mean, we'll probably look. I mean, if that one doesn't plan out, like we'll probably there's a show. I think there's a pretty good bit of shows within. God, I forget what that one. There's one in like November, I think, that is a possibility that we could do, but
Yeah.
it'll really just depend. Like if the hopefully the cards will fall right this prep. I feel really good about this show coming up. I feel really good about September. So hopefully, like the cards fall right in that one. So
Okay, cool. Yeah.
but the good thing is, like, unlike nationals last year, like we do have time to go compete in another show.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like, because the only closest show after nationals is like the Arnold, I think, and that's like 12 weeks apart, I think. And that's just like a
Yeah.
little bit too much to like push your health out that much and everything. Cause I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
prep,
that's
prep,
true.
prep does it. It does it to you.
I was curious about Junior USA because that's in your state in South Carolina.
Is it? I'm trying to remember. I think that one's in either June or July.
I think so, yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder.
So I mean, at the end of the day, like if we came like got conditioned early, we could do it, but also like we need a little time to put a little bit more tissue on. So we're thinking like,
Yeah.
grow for 10 to 12 weeks here. And then, whenever I guess that would set us up like April, May, start prep. Probably April we will start getting ready to get in prep. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then our plan really is to stay pretty lean this off season though, and just really
Okay.
fill in the lines where we need to fill in. I mean, the only like major um feedback we got from the judges this time was just a little bit more leg lines, which we already knew coming through. Like my legs gave me a time and a half this prep to try and like get lean.
Oh,
So
really? Yeah.
oh yeah, it was a very much struggle to get my legs lean this go around. They just weren't budging for a few weeks. And then but once we started picking up a more heavier carb cycle and things of that sort, things started moving a lot faster. So I think now knowing going forward, we know to start doing that just a little bit earlier. And I
Okay.
think we said I think we just started carb cycling or pulling carbs a little bit late, which it wasn't really late, but it was like October. So it was pretty rough. But I mean, at the end of the day, we learned a lot, and so I'm hoping this prep is going to be just even better, and especially considering like we don't have to go through like all the crap we had to go through with like the labs and like ultrasounds and everything of that sort. So,
Okay. Yeah. No, that's very cool. Um, I know you have the coaching business, but I was
mhm.
curious too if you have a full-time job outside of bodybuilding as well.
Yeah, so I work as a PTA at ATI Physical Therapy, and then I'm also going to PT school to be a physical therapist and everything. So
Terrific.
that's my
Yeah.
9 to 5. Well, I work 9 to 6, so it's my 9 to 5 and everything. I really enjoy it though. I work in a like it's basically like a doctor's clinic and everything. So I'm assisting patients and doing all that good stuff. So which is very
Great.
is which is fun though because like it keeps me kind of in my craft and everything, and I still learn a lot while I'm doing just working, just about your body, things of that sort, how to take care of your body. And then of course, like I coach and everything, which my goal initially is to like be full-time coaching. I want to get to
Okay.
that point and everything. So like even
Yeah.
like I want to graduate PT school and obviously and everything, but eventually I just want to even just work part-time, maybe PT school. I want to take a travel contract and be able to
Okay.
travel to different clinics and do PT. And
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, hopefully like I want to move to like Texas, over there. Me and Montana are already like looking at apartments like,
Oh, very cool.
this is
That's
where I'm gonna
awesome.
go when I graduate. So, but yeah, hopefully
Nice.
I'll get to maybe take a travel contract with my company and then
Okay.
do some like 6 month contracts here or just wherever I want to go because I want to get out and see the country and whatnot and
Sure.
get into a more bodybuilding area. But yeah, I'm still coaching and everything alongside of that, which I love, love my girls and guys I coach. They're awesome. A lot of them, I do hybrid athletes, but also coach obviously bodybuilding and everything as well.
Okay.
I have some athletes with me, but also mostly just bodybuilders.
Do you work with lifestyle clients too?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of lifestyle clients. So actually, like a lot of like our patients that we see at ATI, once they finish up treatment for like physical therapy, they will come to me for like workout programs and diet programs and things after
Oh,
their discharge and everything. Obviously not during, but after they're discharged, I do that for them and whatnot. So I get a
oh,
pretty
cool.
good bit of like, little which they're a little easier to do because it's just like they're pretty much just getting like a not generalized but it's personalized program and everything, but they mostly just like do little paper workouts. It's a lot of the older population and stuff like that, so most of
Yeah.
them are very much like 50 up, things of that sort. So a lot of
Okay.
this stuff is just like bird dogs or like little lateral raises with bands, things of that sort. So but
Sure.
it works and I love it. So
And you said you're in Clemson, South Carolina. Is there much of a bodybuilding community there, or is it kind of small?
There's a few. Like one of the he's now a pro. He actually turned pro at Nationals in 2023 in 212s, I think. His name's
Uh-huh.
Austin Hodges. He was actually one of the first like big bodybuilders I met here in Clemson. He still goes to the same gym as I go to as well.
Okay.
And then I'd say pushing more towards like Greenville area is more
Yeah.
where you're finding more a little bit more of your bodybuilders like what's his I think his name is Dusty Hanshaw. I think he owns Carolina Iron over there in Greenville or something like that. One of
Okay.
those things. But more towards Greenville, Spartanburg area, there's a little bit more bodybuilding, I'd say, but it's a growing population here. I could say it's
Yeah.
a growing
Yeah.
population.
No.
So eventually, like it's gotten definitely like since Max Fitness, my gym that I go to here, it's very much a good bodybuilding gym. Jeremy, the owner, and Bailey, they actually used to compete in bodybuilding. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
that was like
Nice.
a very like a good introduction to me as well when I finally got signed up. It used to be the Golds of Clemson, and then they bought it out,
Oh,
Max
okay.
Fitness. And so that helped me also get like a little IVU into bodybuilding as well because Jeremy's jacked and Bailey, she competes in I think bikini, but girl is jacked as well. So like
Oh, nice. Yeah.
so that was like the cool little introduction. But other than that, like it's a very small but growing population.
I got you. I understand. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. And they're not the powerhouse in football like they used to be. They used to be
No, no,
winning
definitely
national
not.
championships, so they're not
Definitely
quite there
not.
yet.
Listen, I used to be a die-hard fan when I was like, younger. Like I literally one Halloween I dressed up as like the number one Clemson Tiger fan. So
Oh,
I used to be a die-hard fan for Clemson football, and now it's like the kids I went to high school with are like playing there or like, things of that sort. So it's just like, and they honestly like they didn't do worth the crap this year. So it's just like,
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
well, we'll wait till
Yeah.
next year. Fingers crossed. We'll
I'm a
see.
Gators fan, and I can
Oh
relate.
yeah.
We had a terrible year this year, and we only won 3 games, I think. I was like, geez, we did really
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, I think we lost. Who did we lose to? That was like super embarrassing. Was it Duke? I
Oh,
think
yeah, I think they did. Duke,
it
and
was Duke. And it just gets,
then
yeah, I just don't even watch it anymore. I'm just like, I'll just put on my Star Wars and continue on.
yeah, I
So,
got you. Duke
yeah.
actually won the ACC championship, which was crazy too. I was amazed by that. Yeah, but
Oh, I
they,
know. It's been a long time since I've seen like anyone but like Miami or like Clemson win the ACC.
yeah, it's weird. Um, Now, I was curious. You mentioned your mom and your sibling or your sister, but do they
Mhm.
support your bodybuilding efforts?
Yeah, so well, they definitely come around. Like, so my mom's a nurse, so her
Uh-huh.
biggest concern, obviously, with bodybuilding is just my health. She
Yeah.
wants me to be safe and take care of my health because, like, she knows how prep is. She knows like the things that go behind bodybuilding and everything that sort. So her main
Mhm.
concern is just she wants me to be safe, and that's the only thing she's only ever said. And my dad just like he knows about like parts of that too, but he's just like, "Woohoo, go Casey!" So
Oh, cool. That's
he,
awesome.
he
Yeah.
doesn't know much about it. I think like the bikinis and stuff make him a little awkward sometimes.
Yeah, I understand.
He's like, he's just proud. He's like proud dad, kind of stuff. They've
Awesome.
definitely came around. Like my family, they've seen me bring Tupperwares to Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner for like 7 years now. So like at this point,
Oh,
they're just, used to it, everything of
yeah.
that sort. But there's definitely been like a really big like flip that I've noticed within like the last 2 years with my family and everything. Like previously, they were just very worried, didn't really understand it, kind of didn't know what's going on. And I think after this show, me being so close to my pro card and them seeing like, oh wow, like she can probably get on the Olympia stage one day, she can get there. I think that was a big realization for like them as well. And it was just like a total like 360. Like my family at Christmas dinner was like, I tell everyone that you got it from me, and like the
Ah.
muscles are my genetics, and like my mom and dad, like they supported me so much. They helped me, get to Texas and everything because it's expensive. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So my Christmas gift was Texas, pretty much, or parts of.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
they helped me. Like I think they paid. Those plane tickets were crazy. So they paid for like my plane ticket and whatnot over there. So which was so helpful, and they helped me
Very
out as
good.
much as they could because that stuff is expensive.
It
So and
is. Yeah.
that's a little warning to any of the people looking to go to nationals that be ready to fork out a loan and a half.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
expensive to
it
travel like
is.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, they've been so supportive and everything about my bodybuilding and everything. Like my sister getting to go over there with me, and then like she posted something on her Snapchat I thought was funny. She was like, just flying, thousands of miles to go watch my sister show off her muscles. it's,
Oh.
it's really funny to think
That's
about. But
funny.
yeah, my family they've absolutely come around and like been so supportive. And now, it's like I got off stage and whatnot, and I called mom and dad, and they were like, "So when's the next one? We got to get you on stage again. When's the next one?" Like,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
and now it's like
Wow.
it was a very awesome experience because like before it was like, do you really want to do this? It's kind of dangerous. Like what is this? Like I don't know anything about this. And now it's like we need to get you on stage again. So
Oh, I love
it's
that. That's so cool.
yeah,
I love to
it's
hear about
really
supportive
awesome.
families like that, or
Yeah.
families that have been kind of turned around and realize,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh, yes.
it's your
It's
passion
definitely
and
a total 360, and like I just cannot
yeah,
be any more grateful for them. My mom and dad have done so stinking much for me. I love them so much.
that's terrific. I love that. I think that's terrific. Yeah. Um, we're running a little low on time. I just wanted to ask you, I think I'll just ask you one more question.
Yeah.
And because I just don't want to go too far over an hour, but
You're good. You're
I've
good.
really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but I was curious, what do you think is like the most misunderstood aspect of, or the biggest myth about bodybuilding, maybe by the general public, and how do you respond when you're kind of confronted with that?
I think a lot of it is um, like a lot of people, like especially women's bodybuilding, a lot of us think, or a lot of people think that like we're trying to be like mini men, or like we're this at this kind of weirdness of like women with muscle, things of that sort. That looks disgusting and things of that sort. And like, well, obviously, I don't think it's disgusting, but I don't believe that like there's a lot of like very, very feminine women that have huge freaking muscles. And I don't think for one second that they look, super masculine. And like granted, so I definitely am more masculine presenting, but like also I've
Uh-huh.
always been like that,
Uh-huh.
and like a lot of people don't understand that like maybe like we grew up different and things of that sort, but like makeup and things of that sort were never my thing. There's nothing wrong with like women having muscle, and I don't like this conception of like women are trying to look like men or things of that sort. Like, muscle isn't masculine or feminine, it's muscle. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just like that whole aspect. And I think for bodybuilding itself, like I think the misconception that like we're very, very like just out of touch people sometimes.
Okay.
I've heard that a lot, like, oh, like they just don't understand or things of that sort. And like I just don't believe that that's very true. We're very like if you talk to like your bodybuilders and whatnot, like a lot of people think we're out of touch, like in the gym, but we're gonna be mean to people and things of that sort. When the best person you could talk to in the gym is a bodybuilder, like
Yeah.
they're
I
so
bet.
human and like so like down to earth for them. Like granted, so there's some crazy people out there, but like from
Yeah.
the bodybuilders I've met, the people with the biggest muscles give the best hugs. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
that misconception, that people like are like, roid raging and all this stuff. I'm like, we're like, if you saw how like cooped up we all were at nationals, like me, Montana, Lenny, Kelly, and just all of us, like we were just, in there just like being bros is literally what Lenny said. She was like, we're just bros. Like,
Yeah.
so,
I like that.
like that dehumanization of like women's bodybuilding, like I don't like
Mhm.
that aspect because like we're real people, you know what I mean? A lot of people just like see like
Yeah.
big muscles and are like people like to hate things they don't understand, So
Yeah.
I find like that aspect that like people think we're trying to be like mini men or like we're ruining our bodies or like things of that sort. Like we're doing what we love, and everything that's
Yeah.
and like we have no problem with it. So
I like that. I think that's a really good point.
mm,
That's one thing I like about this podcast, and I've been told people like it because it kind of humanizes the ladies, I think, that compete
mhm.
in bodybuilding. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah,
'Cause, like a lot of people look at me and like obviously I know what I look like. I know I have short hair and my, voice may be a little deeper and like, things of that sort and I have big muscles. So like when people look at me, they're like, I get a few nasty comments here and there about how I look.
yeah,
But, like if you knew me, you would know like I cut my hair off when I was 13 years old. It had nothing to do
uh,
with like bodybuilding and things of that sort. It's just how I feel more comfortable being myself. And
yeah,
there's some women like to put on makeup and everything of that sort, and that's how they feel more comfortable. And there's you know, if they took away the personality in bodybuilding and having that individuality, it really would be a dying sport. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I agree. And there's a lot of variability in the women in bodybuilding too. And
Yeah.
one thing I do find interesting for because I have friends who are not in bodybuilding at all and
Mhm.
but they say like why do these ladies want to look like a man? And it's like, well, they don't look like a man at all. And it's like,
Right,
they
right.
don't appreciate the aesthetics and just
Exactly. Yeah. And it just comes from, like I said, like people like to hate things they don't understand and things of
yeah,
that sort. So,
mystery. Hmm.
and it's sad. And like, I hate that aspect of it. And I hate that there's a lot of hateful people out there, and you just have to
Yeah.
keep on keeping on. Like, there was this one post I made on TikTok not too long ago, and it was a picture, it was like a flashback from when I was like 14 and I got my first like workout equipment. I was like
Uh-huh.
13 or 14, and then I flashed it to like me on stage now, and the comments were just absolutely ruthless, like
Really?
insane. Oh yeah, and it's like people that don't understand bodybuilding probably like I understand it because like we are on stage with big muscles in a bikini with like this insane tan on makeup. I get it, but like the hatefulness, like someone's just doing what they love, and 1% of less than 1% of the population, will ever do that. So like
That's
that
true.
aspect gets thrown out the door when someone doesn't like it. So
Yeah, I agree. I think it's admirable what y'all do, and I'm too lazy to do it. I couldn't do it. So I'll just tell your stories.
that's what my partner says as well. She's like, she has an amazing physique, and then she's just like, I like food. I'm like, I don't blame you. I really don't.
I love food and beer. I like beer too.
Yes, I love food too, but I have to be careful.
Um, well, I think I better wrap up, but I really enjoyed our conversation
Yeah.
today. Thank you. And that I was wondering if there's anything I missed that you'd like to address or anybody else you'd like to shout out.
I don't think so. Just shout out to like my teammates and everything. Kelly that competed, my teammate, Hayden, Monty, of course, Montana, like my best friend ever, Lenny, and just Kelly, other Kelly, and obviously Justin and everything, and my parents and just everyone that kind of like just made me feel welcomed at home. Like big shout out to them and everything, and shout out to you too for like also like running your channel and everything, because like it really does make like us athletes feel very very important. So like what y'all do is like so important, and we're so grateful for that, because like it really does like make us want to do more and get out there and post more and things of that sort. Like it's awesome, so thank you for that too.
Oh, that's very sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. And I was curious, do you have any sponsors? Are you interested in getting sponsors?
So I'm working towards it. I'm working towards it. I just got to find the right brand. You know what I mean? Like I'm obviously not going to be the like person that's posing, super feminine and stuff. So I have to find the right brand that fits me. I've been
Sure.
wanting to look into like Axe and Sledge and like Gasp. Gasp is like touch and go, but Axe and Sledge and looked at Raw and everything. So we'll see. I really would like to get with Axe and Sledge. It's kind of what I've been leaning towards. And
Yeah.
I would love to do Civil Regim. They're a clothing brand. I'd like to
Okay.
try and get with some of their stuff because they do like anime stuff and like things of that sort. And I'm a geek at heart, like super nerdy. Like I watch Star Wars and anime, and that's like pretty much just all I do besides
Awesome.
lift weights and go to work. So I'm hoping like something like that'll come around soon, but we'll
Mhm.
see. But I just want to make sure I pick a brand that's gonna like be supportive and like who I am and things of that sort. So
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I do want to shout out Bad Rap because they help
yes,
sponsor women's bodybuilding and since
yes,
2023, and they're just these ladies are they're competitors themselves, Eunice
mhm.
and JoJo, but they're just really
Awesome,
really
yeah,
good ladies. So
yeah,
yeah, and so I just want to shout out Bad Rap and tell people to follow them too. So
yeah,
um, and I'll make sure to include your Instagram and some of the other folks we
yeah,
talked about down below
yeah,
too, in case people want to check them out and give you a follow.
yeah, for sure.
But thanks again, Casey. Really
Yeah, of
great speaking with
course.
you. I'm glad we
Yeah,
could
good speaking
connect,
to you.
and I'll try to get this posted, like I said, later today, of course, and I'll
Yeah,
tag
cool.
you again. Love to collaborate with you too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you, and best wishes. I'm hoping you get the pro card this upcoming year, and
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
looking for you
Fingers
in North
crossed.
Americans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fingers crossed. Hey, third time's a charm. It's got to be the one.
I've never been to North Americans, but I'd love to go one of these
Yeah,
days.
I'm so excited to go to Pittsburgh. I've never been up north, so as long as I get a Philly steak and cheese, I'm chilling.
Oh yeah, I've never been to Pittsburgh, but I heard it's a nice place.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I heard it's gonna be cool. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's kind of gosh, it's almost like the headquarters for bodybuilding now because
It really
NPC
is.
IFBB Pro League are based up there in Pittsburgh. So
Hmm.
that's a good to get in front of those judges, I
Oh
think.
yeah, I'm super excited for the show, and my friend Mina, who's also my teammate, she did it last year, where she turned pro.
Uh-huh.
She said it's very much like a regional show too, so it's very low
Yeah,
key and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to get up there. So I'm pumped.
that's awesome. No, congratulations. Yeah, best wishes to you.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks again. Good
Yeah,
seeing
of
you.
course. Good. Thank you.